Hello, fellow Toastmasters. It's Karen Baird, Secretary and Treasurer of MetroMasters Club. This is my second video to orient new members, and the topic for this video is how to use the Toastmasters International website to get yourself signed up for your Pathways Education program. And then we'll look at how to navigate within that program. So let me first start by going to the Toastmasters International website. Let me share my screen. Here we are at the Toastmasters International website, which is, of course, www.toastmasters.org. First, you'll have to log in. You'll be using the same Toastmaster email that you used when you applied to Toastmasters. Now, in my case, it already knows me because I've logged on before, but you'll have to type in that email address and then click Forgot Password so that you can receive a link to reset your password for that very first time. I'm going to warn you that Toastmasters website is notoriously slow processing, and that's unfortunately what we are used to. So let me wait a minute here for it to catch up. Once you are signed in, once you are established in the education program, you can skip right down here to go to Basecamp, but you're not there yet. So let's click on the education program. And down at the bottom, you'll see choose a path. That's what you need to do first. Of course, before you choose a path, they want to know what language would you like it in. So we'll click English. They want to know if you would like to access these resources digitally. We used to have the option of printed materials, but we don't have that anymore. So you must select the only available option of digital resources. And then it asks, how would you like to select your learning path? Would you like to view all the paths that are available, or would you like to take an assessment? If you click on Take Assessment and continue, it will ask you a series of questions as they try to help you whittle down and define what your objectives are so that you can pick the path that most suits what you want to accomplish. But that would be too easy for us to do today. I instead am going to show you all the paths. So here's a page that shows all the paths that are available with just the briefest of brief explanation on what each one of them is. So let's just take this top one here of dynamic leadership. You might be interested in that. You can click on Learn More About Dynamic Leadership. It will give you a brief description, a short paragraph on what it is that that path hopes to accomplish. But if you want to know in detail what is really required, you can click View All Projects, and it will show you every project that is required within that path. You'll see that they have broken this dynamic leadership path out into 5 levels. That's going to be true no matter which path you pick. There are going to be 5 levels, and level 1 is the same for every path. You'll always have an icebreaker, write a speech with a purpose, introduction to vocal variety and body language, and the evaluation and feedback process as level 1. Once you get into level 2, there is some slight variation depending on which path you've selected, but they'll follow a similar sort of understanding your leadership style, understanding your communication style, and introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. If you chose a different path, it might, instead of saying understanding your communication style, for instance, if you selected humorous speaking, it might say understanding your style of humor. Level 3, 4, and 5 start getting very specific to the path that you've selected. So for instance, for dynamic leadership, you're required to negotiate the best outcome. And then there are multiple electives of which you have to pick 2 for in order to complete level 3. And the same holds true for level 4 and level 5. There's a required project, and then you pick an elective that goes along with that. Now, if you say to me, Toastmaster Baird, I don't have time and energy to click through all this information. What is the easiest way for me to pick a path? Again, you can go back to the assessment. You can say you just want to take an assessment, or you can ask me to send you this wonderful spreadsheet that has every path listed out and what are the requirements for each one. So here you can see that for dynamic leadership, these are the 3 requirements for level 2. And these are the 3 requirements for engaging humor. And these are the 3 requirements for motivational strategies, etc. So you can look through this huge grid. You can take the assessment, or you can read each one individually. So let's just, for the sake of making a quick selection, I'll say that I want to select persuasive influence, for instance. It asks me to confirm that this is the one that I want. And when I click continue, it will ask me to pay. Because you're a new member, your $20 new membership fee is already being used to pay for your first path. If you're a long-term member, maybe you've already completed your first path and you want to work on a second one, then you have to pay $20. As a new member, as I said, you don't have to pay. You can just click through and it will take you to the end and congratulate you for selecting a path. Just for the sake of argument, let's look at what does that assessment look like? The assessment starts asking you a lot of questions. What are you most interested in? Based on those 3, which one do you think will help you the most? I think there's about 20 questions, maybe a little more. Which one will help me most significantly? Again, question after question after question. Eventually, you'll get to the point where they, based on your answers, will make a suggestion for 3 different paths that they think will most likely meet all the goals that you are trying to hit. So I'm just clicking through these as quickly as possible to get to the end. Of course, you would read through them, very thoroughly and give your most honest assessment of your opinions. Looks like I'm almost done here. All right. Based on those answers that I gave, Toastmasters has now recommended these top 3 paths that they think will most suit my needs. They're recommending innovative planning, leadership development, and dynamic leadership. So you can pick one of those, and then, as I said, continue on. They'll ask you to confirm it, and then they'll take you to a pay screen. I've already completed my first, so it's going to ask me to literally pay for the next one. But let's go ahead and look at, once you have selected your pathway, then what happens? Then you'll go to Basecamp. Basecamp is the name of the Pathways Education hub. Let me do that again. Go to Basecamp for my MetroMasters Club, and you'll be presented with a screen that looks very much like this. Just like anything else in Windows, they give you multiple ways to get to the same thing. I can click here to open the curriculum of one of the 3 paths that I'm currently working on, or I can come over here and hover over Paths and Learning and click on this drop down for Paths and Learning. So if I open the curriculum for Engaging Humor, you can see that there are 5 levels, and I've already completed 4 out of 5 levels. If I look back at level 1, it'll show me all the different items that I had to complete in order to complete level 1. If you launch that item, so I'm launching the icebreaker project, it will show me all the things, all the educational materials involved in the icebreaker, and all the screens that you would follow in order to complete that icebreaker path. Let me start at the beginning. At the beginning, it's just giving you information on how to navigate. It's telling you how to click a button to go to the next page, how to click a drop down so that you can skip ahead to a different section. At each level of each path, it will give you an introduction to what it is you're supposed to be learning for this project. It'll tell you what you're trying to accomplish. Here they're telling you that if you use this lower area of the screen, there are more specific instructions. The upper area of the screen is more walking you through the step-by-step. For every project, you assess your skills before you do the project. And you would assess your skills by clicking one of those items and saying next, 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 and it would ask you to assess yourself. When you're all done, you move on to the next screen. It gives you more information about the competencies that you are trying to achieve. It explains how you, because this is the first time, it will explain how you navigate on the video. If you're tech savvy, you probably already pretty much know how to navigate on a video. There are items that you can download to help you to view an outline worksheet. And it begins by telling you how to organize your speech. So you can read through each one of these. I'm not going to read through each one now. Let me go back to that previous one. If you might see a screen like this where there are different items that you click on to read the details. And finally, at the end, you will give yourself an assessment for afterwards. So you'll take that same assessment, but now you'll be assessing yourself after you gave your icebreaker speech. And here's the before and after that I did. And then it will say, congratulations. Taking that afterward assessment is how the system knows that you completed the project. And seeing this splash screen that says congratulations is the confirmation to you that you have completed that entire project. So that is an overview of how you select a path and how you read through all the information that's in a path and complete that project. Of course, there's more to it than that. You're going to be in contact with your mentor. You'll be writing your speech, practicing your speech, discussing with your mentor what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. But this is your basic walkthrough of the base camp. Now let me go back. Once you have completed that, you'll see this check mark like I have here over icebreaker, and then you'll be ready to launch the next item for that level. In this case, evaluations and feedback. So you just launch it And then when you're completely done with everything in that level, they'll ask you to certify that you have completed everything, and then you'll get a completion certificate, and your entire level will be checked off, and you'll be done with level 1, ready to start level 2. So if there are any questions, we're happy to help you. I know this is a lot, but like anything else, once you get used to it, once you get used to how to navigate, it becomes second nature and will be easy for you to complete. Thank you for watching the Toastmasters International Orientation.